Imagine you're a child. It's a warm spring evening, and you're chasing your friends in your backyard. The sky suddenly turns black. The wind screams louder than you've ever heard before. The walls begin to shake. Windows explode. Everything you've ever known is ripped apart in seconds. And then, just when it seems certain you're about to die, someone or something appears out of nowhere. Not a firefighter, not a parent, not even a stranger, but a being with enormous butterfly wings. This week, we are exploring one of the most mysterious stories to emerge from one of America's deadliest tornadoes. The legend of the Butterfly People of Joplin. There are fae and cryptid, lores and legends, of which there are skeptics and cynics of all kinds. I'm Michelle.
And I'm Beth.
And we are between the myth and belief.
Proceed to banter.
So I have a boo-boo neck. I don't know what's going on with it, but I think I pulled a muscle while I was pooping.
That is the weirdest thing.
I don't know. I was sitting there and I reached for the toilet paper and I looked to my right and my neck said, "Fuck you."
Okay, well,
I know.
But I still think that's weird.
It's very weird, but I have an issue with my neck to begin with, but it's been a very long time since anything has happened like this. So.
Maybe get some practice in. Bring a small, light weight to bring in and do curls while you're pooping, and then...
What does doing curls with my arms have to do with my neck?
But you'll work your way up to using the toilet paper without hurting your neck.
I still don't know how I did it. I mean, and I might have actually heard it before that. I was just very aware of it in that moment. It's getting better, but it's still fairly messed up. So, anything interesting happening with you this week?
Not really. It's been a fairly normal... I mean, Mercury is apparently...
Out of retrograde.
As
of the 23rd, yep.
Fairly nice because it's sucked so far.
Well, so here's the thing I'm really mad at myself about. Okay, this is why you should never tempt fate. One of the other podcasts I listen to, they have been like almost every time I've listened to them over the past couple of weeks, they keep mentioning Mercury being in retrograde and all the bad and weird shit that's happening to them. And the last time was on Monday. And I thought to myself, you know what? I haven't really noticed Mercury being a pain in the ass this time around. I haven't really had too many issues. But I didn't say this out loud because I know not to say things out loud into the universe. I said it in my head. So apparently that was enough.
Yeah.
Because after that, all this week until Friday has been a holy crap. You would have thought it was a full moon again. I mean, I know there was I don't even know when the full moon was. I forgot. But you would have thought.
It was a strawberry moon.
It was a strawberry moon.
Yeah.
You would have thought that it was like 2.5 weeks long, the way they were behaving.
Right. But again,
moon affects children. Don't let anybody lie.
Mercury, retrograde, things.
Yeah. It's just I hadn't really noticed it being detrimental. Until it was detrimental, you know?
Yeah, no, I get that.
And I'm so mad that I actually even put that out in the universe, even in my own mind. I should never think things. Things.
That's not valid advice.
I should never think the things. Not I'm telling everybody else.
The things, but
other people should think a lot of things. Me, I should stop thinking and just do.
Think the things, but be prepared for the things that are brought forth.
Yes.
All right, well, let's take a look at the calendar of the weird. All right, my little toadstools and mushrooms. We're going to go through the calendar of the weird for July 26th to August 9th. First, we have the Essex Witches and Pagans Lammas Festival on August 1st. It's in Chelmsford, Essex, United Kingdom, at the Gallywood Heritage Center. celebrating the first harvest of the Celtic wheel with a witchy market, spiritual readings, and community workshops with open rituals. That sounds
I love it.
absolutely fantastic.
Wish we could go.
I know. I would love to go there. We should try to position that one year for our anniversary.
Mm-hmm. Which is coming up.
Next, we have the Lunasa Rite at White Mountain Druid Sanctuary. It's at Trout Lake, Washington on August 1st. A lot of these are on August 1st.
Mm-hmm.
At the Trout Lake Abbey. It's an outdoor Irish pantheon rite honoring the god Lusawild Don Unk. Oh, God, that's horrifying.
Sorry.
Yeah. Speaking of gods, it's bad. So this god, Lusawild Don Unk, and the Lady of the White Salmon, I could say that part, at the Sanctuary Stone Circle, preceded by community potluck. Which sounds nice.
I love a community potluck, too.
Oh, yeah.
Everyone brings funeral potatoes, and they're the best.
We have another one as well, the Lunasa Art and Music Festival on August 1st. That's in Newport-on-Tay, Fife, Scotland.
Okay.
It's at the Forgan Arts Centre, marking the turning of the Celtic wheel through the live Scottish music, workshops, and traditional harvest art installations, which also sounds really nice. All these sound great.
Yeah, so basically we just need to do a tour of the UK during this time of year.
I just hope they don't stone me for mispronouncing everything.
The temperatures aren't going to be, I mean, they're comparable. So we don't have to worry about like sweating our butts off like when we go to Florida.
On our anniversary, August 8th, they have the 20th annual Vancouver Island Pagan Pride Day, which is pretty fantastic.
Nice.
It's at the Campbell River, British Columbia, Canada.
That's closer to home. Not much, but closer.
A community gathering featuring public rituals, educational workshops, and information tables centered around the four elements. We have the New Orleans Paracon. Dates are July 31st through August 2nd. The location is New Orleans, Louisiana, in the U.S., at Crown Plaza, French Quarter, focused on French Quarter haunted history, voodoo traditions, and local vampire lore, with guest speakers, ghost hunts, and educational workshops. Actually, that sounds fun, too.
That does.
I'm getting far more into the things I don't necessarily believe in, but love the...
I love going
I just love the idea
it.
of doing it, just being part of the thing. Even if I don't believe it, I don't have to believe something to enjoy it.
Yeah, they're usually pretty fun.
Deep South Paracomic-Con.
Woo!
I know. This is just fantastic. August 8th through the 9th at Enterprise, Alabama in the U.S., a hybrid convention blending paranormal investigation panels, local ghost lore, horror culture, and metaphysical vendors. That sounds like fun
and
as
that's
well.
Also closer to home than a lot of the other places are.
I know.
Except I really don't want to go to Alabama. Nothing against Alabama, but it's hot down there.
It gets dangerous for travel in some areas for me.
I've driven through it many times.
Sure.
Beautiful state. So green.
Next, we have the legendary Llangowan Fairy Festival, August 8th through the 9th at Llangowan, Wales, United Kingdom. A weekend celebration steeped in Celtic fairy folklore, artisan crafts, storytelling, and music. And that is everything I have for the calendar of the weird.
Okay. No astrological wah going on this 2 weeks?
I felt Mercury getting out of retrograde was enough. No, I didn't have anything for that because I was really focused on these.
There's a lot of festivals happening right
festivals,
now.
Yeah.
Because we're in that part of the pagan calendar, so.
And maybe next time we can go into the...
Mabon is coming up in a couple, I think in September is Mabon.
Well, we're trying to push very hard into our favorite time of the year.
Well, Samhain.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
So,
but Mabon is like the pre for that. It's like my favorite is Mabon, and Samhain, and then Yule. It's like it's my favorite time of year, and my favorite holidays are all right in that area.
Yeah, but I just view the year as pre-Samhain. So
everything. There's pre,
is,
and then there's post.
Yeah.
I mean, then there's Yule, but then everything is
No,
pre
no,
and
I
post.
just go pre again. So once it just flips right back over to pre, because all I care about is getting back to the fall and into the autumn period. And
that's
that
true.
time. That's all I care about.
I'm going to try to be a bit better this year and actually do some practices.
We did. We
do a little bit, but I want to get better with it. Again, it's a practice because that's why it's called a practice.
Yeah, it's a practice, not an expertise.
Exactly. And I am far from being anywhere near. But hey, live and learn, and learn. Keep on learning.
So tell me about this thing that you're talking about. Okay, the
butterfly people?
Giant butterfly winged people. Or the wings are giant, not the people themselves.
So I had never heard of this myself before I was doing my research, and I've got like about 5 or 6 things I've been collecting, and I just couldn't decide which one I wanted to do for this episode. And then this kind of popped up on my radar, and I went, oh, I don't know anything about this. Well, let's go look. Now, this is probably not going to be one of our longest episodes because, again, there's not a whole heck of a lot, and it does leave on an end mystery because we don't know. But I thought it was an interesting tale.
I think that's pretty much everything that we do has an open end to it, because when you stride between myth and belief, it doesn't really matter that there's an end. Not everything's going to tie up nicely.
No, but we can suppose, we can do some suppositions at the end of what we think it might possibly.
I will speculate wildly because that's my want.
Okay, well, I mean, I do that as well. So here we go, my friends. On May 22nd, 2011, an EF5 tornado tore directly through Joplin, Missouri. With winds exceeding over 200 miles an hour, it carved a path nearly a mile wide through the city. Homes disappeared, hospitals were destroyed, and schools were flattened. By the time the storm had passed, approximately 158 people had lost their lives, making it one of the deadliest tornadoes in modern American history. For the survivors, the destruction would remain etched in their memory forever. But among the youngest survivors, another story began to emerge. One that no meteorologist or emergency responder could actually explain. Dun, dun, dun.
Thus enter butterfly people?
Yes. What's funny is I start doing that at work, and I have a student who now, every time I go to turn the page, he goes, dun, dun, dun. And it's like, nope, not everything is a suspenseful moment. It's just me turning a page, my friend. Okay. So as the families began rebuilding their lives, counselors, teachers, and volunteers listened as children shared remarkably similar stories. Because that's what we do. We listen to our students and we go, well, that's some messed up crap over there. And usually when we are listening in on our students, we're hearing things about, Fortnite or Five Nights at Freddy's, because we're hearing the things that probably with my crew, age of 5 and under, shouldn't be experiencing or know about. So we kind of keep ourselves aware. So when you start hearing these children talking about the same experience from different parts of the town, you start to think, what the heck is happening here? Many describe seeing a tall, human-like figure with enormous butterfly wings. And the kids were calling it simply the butterfly people. According to their stories, the beings appeared in the worst moment of the storm. Some claim that they were shielded by flying debris by the butterfly people. Others said the butterfly people stood between them and collapsing buildings. But the most unsettling of it all is that several stories suggested that these beings escorted those who were dying peacefully into the afterlife. The similarities between the children's accounts quickly got the attention of the adults around them. Were these simply frightened imaginations of children trying to make sense of their trauma? Or was there something else happening, something extraordinary that had occurred? Skeptics point toward a well-known psychological phenomenon. Extreme stress can dramatically alter perceptions. Near-death experiences often involve vivid imagery, comforting figures, and a feeling of protection. Side note, I have a cousin who was in a very bad car accident with her mother and one of her sisters. And she often will tell that my great aunt got her, her leg was broken horribly. I think my cousin was very, very seriously injured, and so was her sister. But there was a man who looked like a biker who had appeared out of nowhere. And he didn't have a vehicle. He just had a big, like a denim vest on and a big beard, and he was kind of scruffy, very soft and kind face. And he helped them until the paramedics got there. And then he was gone. So she always swore it was somebody who came to help them, like some unearthly being. She always said he was an angel. Believe what you want to believe. So yes, near-death experiences will often cause some type of vivid imagery. Not to say that these beings are not real, but they do like to take advantage of that active imagination of humanity. Throughout,
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, so throughout history, survivors of disasters have reported seeing angels or deceased relatives or glowing beings. My cousin saw a biker. I just always think that was funny. She saw a biker. If you knew the area.
We see what we want to see.
But it makes sense for the area that they were in. They were very close to, not close to, but they were in an area that was known to have a couple biker bars. There's no way he could have walked out to that area or could have been just walking, but regardless. So after the September 11 attacks, for example, some survivors described seeing angelic figures during moments of overwhelming fear. Psychologists argue that these experiences may result from the brain attempting to cope with unimaginable trauma. Our brains are built to protect us, guys, and that is a huge factor when it comes to anything like this. There's another important factor, and this is gonna probably be an issue, but whatever. Joplin sits right within America's Bible Belt. In a deeply religious community, concepts like angels and divine intervention and miracles already exist within the cultural framework. And that's perfectly fine to have that. And it's possible that these beliefs influenced how the children interpreted extraordinary experiences during the tornado. But why butterfly wings? Why not angel wings, right?
Yeah, why not bird wings?
Yeah,
something
which
that's
is
more
usually
appropriate to the angel mythos.
Exactly. Or if they are, old school learners, why not multi-eyes and multiple wings, or however the Bible describes angels. I mean, again, they're going to go with what their families know and what their families believe,
But it's atypical for butterfly wings to be on angels. They just don't do that.
No. And they just don't have the mass capacity to hold a body up in the air.
It's the archetype is, it's angel wings, which are feathered, white, very distinctively bird-like wings.
Yes, I like the concept that each angel has different colored wings, but, that's just me. Like usually like bird colors.
But the perpetuated vision is of that.
Oh, yeah.
And it's not even of the biblical angels.
No.
It is of the idea of the angels that are described by Americans for the most part, and Europeans.
So in Supernatural, even though it's not in the TV show, but you know why the lore in the fandom is that Cass has black wings? Because they got burned when he went down into hell to save Dean. I mean, now he has no wings, but that's beside the point. He's dead.
But I can see why children would resort to
a butterfly.
People with butterfly wings, and why they would see that for me would be more likely, and it's the idea of magical creatures helping them,
exactly.
Not so much as religious creatures helping them.
And I've never been in a tornado, but I've seen Twister, and it's But like, so I don't know how true the movie is when it comes to like, when they're inside the tornadoes sometimes and you see the lights inside the tornado, the lightning.
Sure.
Maybe it was, the colorfulness of, because I know lightning can be colorful at times.
Well, I've been in tornadoes
Uh-huh.
because I lived in Tornado Alley.
Yes.
And I've actually we had it destroy the school right next to us.
Ooh.
And I can tell you that while a lot of times there is some lightning involved, a lot of times it's the electrical grid being torn apart.
Oh, yeah.
And sparks flying from that. But I never saw butterfly people. But also it is very traumatic because it is like being shot at. You don't know where the next hit is coming from.
Mm-hmm.
Because everything that is flying around in the air, all the debris, is essentially a projectile that could kill you.
Exactly.
I mean, we've gone out afterwards and seen straw, like grass, straw, driven into poles.
That's crazy. I've lived through many hurricanes and have never seen anything that.
Yeah, so
dramatic.
you would see like light poles with straw driven into them,
Wow.
like deeply to where you couldn't pull them
Pull it
out.
back out. That's just crazy.
Yeah, I mean, wind force is a pretty insane thing, and to get to live through that is a fairly traumatic process, especially if you're in something that's being destroyed.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you're in a house that isn't well protected, and there are so few in that area that have underground bunkers of any kind.
Yeah.
Usually you're just in a hallway hoping you don't get hit by glass.
You would think, though, living in an area that is known and prone to tornadoes, that everybody would have like a storm shelter.
Well,
or community storm
you
shelter.
really just didn't have them in a lot of places. There are community ones, but try making it to
That is true.
Try making it to the post office or the library, because that's where ours were, and there was a couple of churches that had them. Try making it there from where you're at when the tornado hits, because it comes down very quickly. You didn't have a lot of notification back then.
Yeah, I think so if anybody ever asks me this question, I would always say the same answer, and I will still stick by this answer from a very young age. If you said tornado or hurricane, I will take a hurricane any day of the week because you have notification, you have time. And we just lived through a few years ago
Helene.
And while we ourselves were not impacted as severely as others in our area, it was devastating. I mean, the loss of life, we're just not built for that. We're up in the mountains. We're not built for for hurricanes. And we do get tornadoes, but they're very, very, very rare because of the mountains. When I was younger, my Nana always told me about how I forget where they were, but they were somewhere down in the south and most likely in Tornado Valley. They were in the tornado, and my great-grandfather, put her and her sister in the same great aunt who broke her leg in the last family story. Not cousin, but it was her daughter who told that story. But my great aunt and my Nana put them in a car. I want to say it was an Edsel. I don't know what it was, but Nana always said it looked like an upside-down bathtub is what she always said. It was very low profile. Okay. I don't know. The tires, like it had the sides that went pretty low. So he put them both in the car because that was, I guess, the safest place for them to be. And she said you could feel it rocking, but it didn't lift. But she remembered a Ferris wheel getting picked up, and she said it looked like invisible hands twisted it in midair like pretzel. And that imagery from a very young age stuck in my head, and I swore to that moment I would never want to be in a tornado. Nobody wants to be in a tornado unless you're a storm chaser. But that was kind of what solidified it for me. And I'd never even seen anything even with tornado. Like I learned about them, but not like that.
Yeah.
So
did the little jar at school with the water and the colored water in it? Where
we
you
didn't
swish
do
it
that.
Around and
we never did that.
Make a tornado.
Yeah, we never did that. I don't even remember. We might have. I don't remember it. But I remember going to I think it's the Franklin Institute, and they do have a storm room, like a weather room, and they do have the smoke tornado in the tube that you can play with.
Yeah, where you can hit the button.
And it makes the storm tornado or the smoke tornado. Yeah, so I get the reality of it. It scares the living crap out of me. When we were in South Carolina and we would get the tornado warnings, I would do everything in my power to keep myself calm while getting my kids into the basement.
Yeah, and unfortunately, that basement had
opening on the one side.
A glass.
Well, if you went on that one
door.
side, if you stayed on the inner part, we were good. But yes, it did.
It's still, for me, a very weak point.
It was. No, definitely a weak point, but it was just, that was the best place we had. That was a tiny little farmhouse.
So for my idea of what butterfly people are and what I'm getting from this, it just seems to me like they're fae. And I know it's easy to say fae because that covers a whole lot of area.
A lot.
But it does cover, that portion of the unknown, that butterfly people may be altruistic in some sense, but it also may be that they're collecting a debt as well.
Exactly.
We don't know what may have preempted their inclusion or their addition to the story. Maybe they were collecting on a debt. Maybe they were fulfilling a promise.
Exactly. And
just because other people experienced protection doesn't mean they were the ones that made the deal or made a bargain.
They
or anything at all. It could have just been
one person doing it, and then they were helping the community.
Sure.
And children tend to be so, in the world of the paranormal / cryptids / whatever, children either the victims or the lauded. They protect the children or they eat the children.
in your story, in the recounting of this, I say story, but it is a news story because it was reported on. Are there any follow-ups to the children that saw them to later things? Did they have any other encounters with butterfly people, or was it just this one occasion?
As far as I can tell, but I have to keep reading. So we'll find out. The children didn't describe angels. They consistently describe butterflies. Believers suggest that very young children may lack the vocabulary or mental framework to describe something they perceive as angelic. I don't agree with that.
I find that incredibly obtuse.
I don't agree with that.
Because children are indoctrinated very early on to know exactly what angels are. Angels are everywhere. You can look in any household in America and find angels somewhere posted.
Oh, pictures of them, little figurines of them. I mean, there's something
with
an angel.
It's on television. It is everywhere. Their major religion in America is, and especially in the South, is Christianity, which favors heavily on the angelic part of that.
Yes, and think about the fact that, if anything, they would say either they were beautiful, angelic figures, like adults that were very angelic looking, and they would describe that bird people, or tiny little children with bird wings, like cherubs and things like that, because that's the iconicity. That's not the word I'm looking for.
Iconery?
Iconery, that's the word that they have.
I don't know that that's a word either.
I don't know. We're going to go with it. But that's what people have in their homes. They have the little cherub figurines. My mother had these little girls. They were little girls that had wings. No, yeah. Sorry, because they were bells. She had these other little girls that looked like that their dresses were bells, and I kind of just conflated the two. But she had these little dolls, and they had and they were little girls with wings. So
my mother had. You saw it.
Oh, yeah.
She had nothing but angels everywhere. And my mother wasn't particularly religious. No. And she didn't like angels. She didn't care about them. People kept giving them to her as a present.
Yeah. And it was like a, not an intentional bad joke.
It was a running joke that no one was really in on, but everyone was in on.
Yeah. Like everyone just kept buying her angels, even though nobody knew why they were buying her angels.
But you know what I did? Throughout her lifetime, once I moved away and I was doing my own thing as an adult, I bought her shot glasses from around the world.
That is so funny too, because she had a whole collection of shot glasses.
It was incredibly difficult to find a shot glass in Saudi Arabia.
Oh, I bet.
But I got her a set.
Nice.
They not exactly shot glasses, but they were small like that.
And it's funny because your mom was a beer drinker, not a
No, but
The shot
I think
glass.
she appreciated not getting angels.
Oh no, 100%.
And I couldn't figure out a way to get a beer cozy from everywhere in the world. So it seemed like shot glasses were the way to go.
Exactly. So instead of the typical imagery of an angel that we have come to know and love, I'd like to believe that they are, warriors and not so much, saviors of humankind, and that they are, not thrilled about us. But whatever. It's what it is. The popping thing I do, I don't know why I do it anymore.
I don't know why you do it.
I've been doing it a lot lately. I do it with my students, and now I find that I can't stop doing it. It just happens at the end of certain sentences. So if you hear me do a pop, I don't even know I'm doing it. 90% of the time.
Echolalia. You can't
It really
help it.
is. And I don't even have that much autism.
You have enough for it to be a thing.
Apparently. Okay. So think about a gentle thing. Butterflies are considered gentle. Nobody's gotten bitten by a butterfly as far as I know.
I've seen people killed by butterflies. I don't know what you're talking about.
I mean, I personally am a moth fan, but I like
Armed
a butterfly. I mean, I have a
butterfly
butterfly
gangs
tattoo, so I
who
mean,
fly around disemboweling humans, animals,
carnivorous butterflies. But they are also part of religious iconography. You're right. Iconography is a wood. A wood? A wood.
A wood?
A wood. It's a word.
Oh my God.
The struggle is real, folks.
It is early in the morning for
It is
us,
early in the morning.
which is nice. I actually enjoy this. I think we talk at a more reasonable level.
I agree. And also, I did not re-up my pain medication this morning, but I'm still coming off of having a midnight dose of a muscle relaxer. So I am a woohoo. So, but butterflies are gentle and they are beautiful. And they
do like to chase our dogs around.
Oh, they do love to chase our dogs.
They're adorable. We cultivate an area
yes.
that helps butterflies grow. We like our butterflies. We like a lot of things, and bees, bumblebees especially,
Yes.
stuff like that. But we have that type of yard where you can do that. And our dogs are always covered in butterflies.
They are enamored by the butterflies. And what's funny is we have
moths.
Yes, and we have a lot of eastern tiger swallowtails in this area, and which is what I have as a tattoo. But they will be out. They'll be out now. Usually they're around April-ish. You don't usually see them later in the summer. But
we had one all last week flying in circles.
Circles around our dog every time she was pooping. Very confusing. Now, I don't see butterflies as being protective per se, but I can see little children seeing that as a thing. So they are beautiful and they are gentle, but I don't know about the protective part. I'm going to let that part go because, that's just the way they were described in my notes. So perhaps this was simply the closest comparison their young minds could make. Once again, as an early educator, I don't necessarily agree with that, but, I'm going with what the research has told me. So before the tornado struck, a mural artist had traveled to Joplin to begin a community art project. When he returned after the disaster, thousands of volunteers came to help rebuild. Many of the children submitted drawings. Again and again, the same image appeared. Winged, human-like figures, butterfly people. Whether supernatural or symbolic, the artist believed these drawings represented something powerful: hope, healing, rebirth. And in religious iconography, I'm not sure what the word is right now. I have a computer in front of me. I could look it up, but God forbid I do that. Butterflies are also related to Christ in the whole rebirth because of, you look at the life cycle of a butterfly and that reemergence from caterpillar going into the cocoon and then coming out a butterfly. It has been taken as part of Christ's crucifixion and then rising from the grave and to go, be with God and to be our Savior. So I understand that they were possibly conflating the two symbols per se. But yeah, I think that it is definitely, butterflies are a symbol of rebirth, even outside of Christianity, because again, you have a caterpillar goes into a cocoon. And if you don't know, I'm going to give some little science facts over here. When a caterpillar goes into a cocoon, they don't just squiggle around until the wings appear and their body shrinks. No, their bodies literally turn into SpaghettiOs and they reform themselves. They literally turn into a pile of inside of their cocoon and reform their bodies into the different parts. That blows my mind. I did not know that until maybe like 15 years ago. And then I'm like, holy crap, ever since. So not everyone agrees the butterfly people were angels. Some paranormal researchers suggest something entirely different. One theory connects them to folklore surrounding fairies, or what Celtic tradition calls the fair folk. Descriptions of insect-like wings bear striking similarities to many historical accounts of fairy beings. Others connect them with mysterious entities known as the Watchers, interdimensional beings believed to come to occasionally interact with humanity. And then there's perhaps the most strangest comparison of them all, my favorite booty boy, the Mothman. So between 1966 and 1967, as we have learned in the past episode, dozens of people from Point Pleasant, West Virginia, reported seeing a towering winged humanoid with glowing red eyes, and the creature became simply known as the Mothman. Its final reported appearances occurred shortly before the catastrophic collapse of the Silver Bridge, which killed 46 people. Some believe the Mothman caused the tragedy. Others believed it merely warned them. Supporters of the Butterfly People mystery wonder whether these winged beings might belong to the same unknown category of entities, one appearing as an omen and the other appearing as a protector. I kind of get that,
I do.
Moth being nighttime and butterfly daytime, if you want to go by that comparison. And then one being, one is a precursor or a warning, and the other one is a active protector.
I see it more as sun and moon.
Mm-hmm. I could see that, yeah.
So the Mothman or the entity that is the Moth People would be those who are the watchers or the bearers of the message.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas the Butterfly People are the ones who are actively there to participate.
Yeah.
And I can see that. I can see that definitely being a thing.
Yeah, no, definitely.
I imagine they all have great butts.
All them booties. In 2005, years before the Joplin tornado, Dr. Mitchell Gibson presented an unusual lecture at the 7th International Conference on Science and Consciousness. I wish I'd been there. Gibson described what he called the hidden universe, a dimension normally invisible to humans, but occasionally intersecting with our own. Among the stories that he shared was one involving a recently deceased woman. According to her family, a butterfly-winged humanoid appeared and remained with them for over 6 hours. The being reportedly explained it had come to collect the woman's soul and escort her to heaven. Even stranger, it allegedly claimed to come from another dimension and to be composed of a different kind of matter. Gibson later said he examined a photograph the family claimed being shown of the being. I have a picture I will share. We can put it in our notes.
Okay.
Although he chose not to release the image publicly, he did state that he personally believed the family was sincere and unlikely to have fabricated such evidence. No independent verification of the photograph has been established, leaving the account intriguing but unconfirmed. And yet the picture does exist on the interwebs.
Perhaps a version of it.
Perhaps. I just know that as soon as I read that, I
so be
Googled it.
warned, it is not verified that this photograph is in any way real or actually attached to the family.
No, it may not even be the one that they're talking about. It is what is shown on the internet.
Perhaps taken as an example only.
Mm-hmm. And in the article, it shows up when you search and also when in the article that I was reading about this.
Sure.
Researcher PMH Atwater has spent decades studying near-death experiences, especially among children. She proposes an extraordinary idea, that some children participate in what she calls, quote-unquote, night school. Not an ordinary school, but a shared learning experience that happens during dreams. Atwater recounts witnessing an encounter inside a shopping mall. Two young boys, complete strangers, in waking life, locked eyes across a hallway. Without hesitation, they ran toward one another, hugged enthusiastically, and greeted each other by name. Then they began discussing the class assignment they'd supposedly received the previous night. Their parents stood speechless. One family lived locally, the other was merely visiting. According to everyone present, the children had never met before. Atwater believes they recognized one another from this mysterious, dreamlike learning environment she refers to as the imaginal realm. Whether interpreted as spiritual experience, psychology, or coincidence, stories like these continue to challenge conventional explanations. So, who were the butterfly people? Were they angels offering comfort during an unimaginable tragedy? Interdimensional beings briefly crossing into our reality? Creatures from ancient folklore? Or were they simply the brain's remarkable ability to create hope in humanity's darkest moments? Perhaps we'll never know, but one fact remains undeniable. In the middle of one of America's worst natural disasters, dozens of children independently shared stories of compassionate winged beings who appeared when they needed hope the most. Whether those beings existed in a physical world or only within the children's imagination, their hearts and minds, the butterfly people have become an enduring symbol of protection, resilience, and the mysterious ways humans make sense of tragedy.
Okay, well, so let me say this about the butterfly people. I believe that in Joplin, it's Joplin, right?
Joplin, Missouri.
That in that area, which I'm from Missouri, and I know that area. I didn't know about this, though.
Yeah, you got me last week with Ong's hat, so
See,
there you go.
There we go. But for me, if it was not tied to Christianity in some way, there's no way in hell they would allow the butterfly people to be on a mural or part of their story, of Joplin's story. So I think no matter what the children saw, it would have been dismissed if they couldn't tie it in some way to being angelic and or tied to Christianity in some way.
Oh, yes, because anything beyond that would be pagan and or evil.
And I'm not saying it isn't. I'm also not saying, I'm saying, though, that it's very unlikely that it is, because in no way does it conform to any of the ideals that, or the iconography.
Now we know the word. We looked it up, guys. We looked it up.
I know, because I'm like, that can't be right. Iconery doesn't sound right. It sounds more like something that you would get from, the Scottish area of things. It's iconery.
Connery. Sean Iconery.
Sean Iconery. But I think that, you are required to say, well, it must be, religion, it must be God, or it must be something within the Christian ethos, in order for it to remain part of this predominantly Christian area. But for me, I think that it is probably a good sleight of hand for the Fae to tie themselves in some way to Christianity so that you include them in your iconography.
Exactly.
And now they're part of your life. And I think that happens a lot, because as much as I know that the Christian faith tends to envelop other cultures, and it tends to take from those cultures and make it its own.
Yes.
There are, in a lot of ways, that is the very thing that undoes their influence. Because in many ways, we always come back to the base stories. Where did this come from? Well, you can pull it from far beyond Christianity. And if you can do that, then it tears that idea down that they are the basis for everything.
Oh, yeah.
The Butterfly People is a very recent example of something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think it's widespread enough. I have not found anything in the very short time I've been looking it up while you were talking about it to say it's anything at all, because there's nothing that directly ties it to the Fae.
No.
But I think it's far more likely for it to be something within the realm of Fae. There may be other traditions that we don't know. That's just very likely that it could be something that is a native tradition, a native story that we don't know about.
Oh, yeah, because Missouri is, part of, the plains. And
it's a great part of the Cherokee Nation. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of areas and there are other tribes in that area.
Oh, yes.
Or were, until, white people pushed them out of it.
Because, white people being white people.
Right. But I think that there are so many stories that are probably long gone.
Probably.
Genocided out of our history, or their history and our future.
Yeah, I don't want to compare the Deer Woman, but that's what first thing I thought of when you mentioned that was, a lot of indigenous American cryptids, beliefs, mythologies, whatever you want to call them, they do have that mix of humanoid and animalistic. They've got that anima. And
what was really telling was the family of them, of it coming and then sharing with them, and then, no angel sits for 6 hours talking to you about something.
No.
It comes, it takes, and it's gone, and you're left going, oh. But this did not.
No, it stayed, and it waited. And
stayed and explained and talked and spoke with and did the things that needed to be done in a manner which really does hearken to the way Native Americans would proceed with their rituals. It takes time. It does not rush itself. It's there to be savored. Whereas in our, the religious things now, they're all very rushed. They're all very except for maybe Mass, which is probably too long. But, there are a lot of things that are just, it's very quick and it's done.
Yeah, we live in a microwave society.
Right.
Anything longer than 2 minutes and we're driving, we're sitting there tapping our fingers and going, why is it taking forever?
So there are a lot of reasons to believe that the Butterfly People are not of the Christian ethos and probably more of anything else.
I like I appreciate the idea that they might be Fae, but I also really appreciate the concept that they are interdimensional, because I do believe in multiple timelines, and I do think that we are in the worst timeline. Damn it, Jeff, you rolled a 6.
When we say interdimensional, that can conjure up all kinds of things, but traditionally it's just part of the fade. It's part of the Fae. It's the unknown. It is the thing that is outside.
Yeah.
And saying it's in a dimension is just another word for it being in the never, never, or, some part of the Fae realm. If you step into a fairy circle, you could well be transported.
Oh, definitely.
And it could be interdimensional. You could say whatever you want that placeholder to be, but it's still sending you to another place.
Yes, and that is something that, that's another episode that I would definitely love to delve into. I've been
holding off on some of the more common ones.
That's what I've been doing too. I've been kind of skirting around the common ones.
I want
to do something different. Yeah,
I want this podcast to be different from the things that are traveled all the time.
Yeah.
These well-worn paths have been walked by so many people, and they've had so many times to form their own ideas. And I think it is better for us to straddle, again, between myth and belief, that the namesake fits very well, because
I'm kind of embarrassed of my unicorn episode. I think, honestly.
No, I think that's fine. I think we started out on
not knowing really which direction 100%
I think we started out on a firm platform of these are things that are well known.
Mm-hmm.
Now let's step into the things that maybe aren't.
Yes, that's true.
And perhaps it is well known to certain people.
Oh,
but
yeah.
maybe to the wide world out there that we're speaking to through this communication device that maybe you don't know. Maybe you'll find it interesting. The Selkies. I'm sure people will find
so much wrong with what I said.
No, I think a lot of people will find a lot of things that they didn't know about. And I think that they will see that attachment to the Little Mermaid and things like the stories that they know.
Well, like with the Selkies, what I find is, as an American who did not know a lot of those things and wasn't raised with the culture and with the lore, I was conflating them with Kelpies, which are not nice. So, I always thought they were not nice creatures. To find out that they're calm and malevolent is like benevolent, not malevolent. I'm sorry.
Malevolent's the other one.
I know what I meant. Just
I want to make sure they knew, not you.
Yeah, I know. I knew what I meant. Words are just not working for me today. Okay.
We got the iconography, and that's okay.
That's okay. So this has been Between Myth and Belief. And if you like what you heard, and you have a tale or two to share, not just about today's episode, but any odd, scary, or crazy old topic that you would like to hear us talk about or want us to read about, you can email us at betweenmythandbelief@gmail.com or join us on Instagram and Blue Sky at Myth and Belief. You can like us and rate us wherever you listen to podcasts, where you're listening right now. And you can check out our other podcast, Cozy Quilt Cinema, if you like to talk about movies and how they make us feel, at cozyquiltcinema.com. Don't let the butterfly people catch you in a tornado. Or let them.
Actually, you should
let them
protect
let them.
you.
Yeah. Okay, guys. Bye.
Bye.